I guess she doesn't want to stop. Are you sure you don't want to keep the camera?
I'm positive.
You're positive. All right, we'll see ya. Bye. You never do it right. That'll help it come loose. Well, we're finally getting this offset disc put together. Now you're probably wondering why we deal with such a small disc. This is 15 feet wide, and it takes about 200 horsepower to pull it. This is what they would actually call a plow disc, just because of the abrupt angle that the disc gangs are on. This works really well in ground that is stonier, because it doesn't pull the stones to the surface. It just kind of works with the soil on top. You can get in a good 10 inches, 8-10 inches with this. And when we get done plowing a field with this thing here, it looks like you chiseled it and disced it, so it works really well. We ended up replacing all the blades on it. We had to put about half of the arbors, and then we were waiting for bearings to come for it. So we've got probably 10 or 12 grand put into this. It was $3,000 or better for just the bearings. So they've got one gang left to put together on this back corner here, and we're put some new tires on. We had radial tires on this side, had a couple of mix match tires on that side. We had the wrong size radial on there and an old bias tire. And Nate is getting tires switched around. We're gonna get this done, and we're gonna pull the Pottinger Terra disc in here, and we got to service it. Tim's going to slip off that wrench and hurt himself. We're looking for a cheater bar right now to get on there. You're always looking for the hole, ain't you? You use your light for that?
Yeah.
Always? Always, yeah.
I'm old. I ain't done good as a young man.
Oh. Oh.
Hold there. Can you see that hole there? I got a little farther to go. Push down.
Yeah, you got a little farther to go. Got a little farther to go. So we're going to interrupt the video here. This project that we're working on here will be coming up in the next video. But I wanted to bring it to your attention that Olight has a sale coming up on the 16th. It's only running for 24 hours, and they're running like 30 or 40% off. And these lights here are what are featured in the next sale here. This one's kind of a neat one. This one's been out for a while. You got a magnet on it. You just press it, whatever. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. So we're going to get on with the rest of the video. In the next couple days, we'll fill you in on what happened to the 900 here. Well, Jared's working on putting this engine back together here. He slammed the crank into it. Oh, here yesterday morning, all the end caps and whatever that hold the crank in, are they all torqued?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got that in there. He's got, oh, what does he got? He's got two pistons in, and he's putting a third one in right now. And this is our engine stand here. So we use a truck tire, preferably a 325, but he's using a, I don't know, is that a 285 or 315? Is that a 315? That works.
That it's new. It's got to have good tread on it.
Yeah, it's got to have good tread and good, strong, stiff sidewall. But, yeah, you can roll the engine over on top of that. A couple of strong men can manhandle that, and it works great. But he's using assembly lube here to put everything all together with, and he's just oiling up the O-rings. And that piston there is installed into the sleeve. And then he's just gonna push her together and get her in place there. He's got a handy tool that he uses to put that sleeve into place. It's a nice block of wood that he is lined with some tin foil so that he doesn't get any dirt or splinters into the block here. So he thinks if he doesn't get interrupted at all today that he might have 90% of this engine together. However, it's going to take more time to put the engine in than it took to put all the parts together here. So he's got a block of wood that's got some tin foil on it, so that it's probably not the best thing to use. And I'm sure everybody out there in the social media world will have an idea as to what would be the actual correct way to put these in, but it works. And bang, that is in place. Now, bang. Now he's just got to take and hook the connecting rod up to the crank. He's got 1 and 2 in there, and then 3 just came in right here, and he'll have to hook that up. So we'll join back up with him in a little while here once he gets more of this together. Once the pistons all go in, he'll have to torque everything. What kind of a sequence is there on that?
These are actually, anyone that knows engines, these are precision cut joints or whatever. That's what John Deere calls them. On a normal connecting rod, there's usually like a tongue and groove. You know, there'll be a tongue that sticks up on one side and a groove. No, there's a better way to show it right here. Like on the 4620, that was tongue and groove. Early 81s, 6081s are also tongue and groove. Like a 7810, 8110, they'll be tongue and groove. These are just...
It doesn't matter which way they go on?
No, it does. There's writing on it. Goes with the writing. And what that actually is John Deere forms, when they cast these connecting rods, they cast it all in one piece, and then they cut that with a laser. Instead of casting 2 different pieces, when they cast 2 different pieces, they make the tongue and the groove for it to fit together. This is just precision cut. So
we're learning.
Yeah.
We're learning. And then what's the torque sequence on that? Is it?
You go 70, 71, and then they say 90 to 100 degree rotation after 71.
So you go 71 foot-pounds of torque, and then you go 90 degrees to 100 degrees of a turn.
I do 95.
Okay.
That's what I do.
That you should have seen that 9560 when we put that together the other day. If I remember right, the torque was 150, 90 degrees, wait 5 minutes, 90 degrees, wait 5 minutes, and 90 degrees. And that was about a 6 foot long pipe on there. On a, oh, what was that bolt? Maybe a 5/8 bolt?
Well, these are not pickup truck engines. These are a heavy duty commercial engine. For anyone that's ever played with pickups, you turn those up, they'll blow a head stud. Or they'll blow a head bolt. They'll just blow the head gasket right out of it. These John Deere blocks, you turn these up and start playing with them. Stock head bolts are good for as much as you're going to make. These are a real engine. These are not pickup truck engine.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get on with working on this offset disc, and we're going to leave him alone. He's got 3 more to do, just like you've seen him do with that one, and he'll flip it over get the head on there. And then this tractor, the oil pan is actually part of the actual frame of the tractor. So the earlier John Deere tractors, they had the back of the engine was bolted to the front of the transmission, and that was somewhat part of the frame as well. But this oil pan here, that's what you see here, that's bolted to the front of the transmission, and then the front end is bolted to the bottom of the oil pan, and then the actual blade frame here that bolts to the engine. So the blade, the Dagelman blade, is actually pushing or attached to the engine. He's got new injectors. We talked about that in an earlier video. He sent all 6 injectors out to D&W Diesel and only one passed, so he ended up buying all brand new ones. And then the injection pump is sitting here somewhere. That's right there. The injection pump has equipment put on a year ago, so that should be fine. And then of course we've got all the other essential parts here. Water pump, just, yeah. So there's more to putting the actual engine in than it is to putting the engine back together here. Alright, they are putting the finishing touches on this offset disc, running around it with a grease gun. And it is all completely ready to go. We ended up putting some new tires on it. These 2 were original. Had to put 2 on the other side over there. Then we also ended up replacing one of the hydraulic hoses. So we're going to pull this out and we're going to bring in the smaller Pottinger Terra disc, and we've got to kind of service that up. It's got a broken bolt, and we'll get that going here. So we'll join back up with you in a little while here. Alright, thought I would just check on this 9560 quick here. We ended up getting that offset disc pulled out of the shop. We've got the smaller Pottinger Terra disc inside now. I thought I would come over and check on this tractor here. I guess she doesn't want to stop. We'll catch her on this headland turn here. We're just going to pop this hood up here and take a peek inside and see what we've got. So Jake was over here a little while ago, and when we did all the work on this the other day, that reservoir, the coolant tank there that's up by the windshield, that didn't come in on the parts order, and he just put that on here a little while ago, and I'm just checking the coolant level on it now, and from here we can see that is fine. That tank was stained black from the engine oil going into the coolant. So how's it been? Pretty good, huh? Well, what do you got? One more pass over there? Yeah. I'll make one round with you and then I'll check on Andrew on the way out. All right. right, she's got one last pass around the headlands here. On these smaller fields like this, it's almost easier to go all the way around instead of trying to go back and forth. You spend just as much time turning around on the headland as you do to just drive this length of the field here. So, and we're just kind of running with the chisel plow down here just to kind of cover our tracks up. We got 3/10 of an inch of rain here last night, yesterday afternoon rather. And these guys actually got shut down here about 3-4 o'clock yesterday. And now they're back at it again here today. Andrew has kicked Alex out of the tractor and he's right over in that hedgerow over there. It is, well, it's just about 4 o'clock here now, a little after 4 o'clock actually. So, what do you think of this job, huh?
I really like it.
You really like it? Kind of nice that this tractor's up and running, huh?
Yeah,
You paranoid at all?
a little.
A little bit?
I check everything a lot more than I
Yeah. To be honest with you, I think Sarah saved the engine in this tractor because I think that it would have been out of oil if she didn't use her instincts and say, hey, this is stinking of coolant here and, you know, you got to do something about it. So, kind of luckily that bolt ended up breaking and they kind of looked after things a little bit here, so got a disc scratch in there. One of them scrapers is making some noise against the discs there. They're really, the discs really serve no purpose. They cut up the stubble a little bit, but most of the time we don't even run them down. We had an old Glencoe chisel plow that the bearing went in one of the disc holders, and we ended up cutting the other one off and ran without for several years on that. We are next to the Burned Dairy here up in Lafayette. Yeah, you've got some rock up here, huh? You're pulling quite a few up. Yeah. Then you got the old Landau chisel plow. These things are pretty rugged. A little wet right here, Missy.
Yeah.
You do know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Doesn't bother you though, does it? No? Got a little spin action there, huh?
It's good for it.
Good for it.
It seems like it's called pet.
Yeah. Well, I think she's gonna kick me out of the tractor when she gets on this last pass here. You want to keep the camera with you?
No.
No, you don't want to keep the camera with you?
I'm good.
Are you sure you don't want to keep the camera?
I'm positive.
You're positive. Someday maybe?
No.
No?
Never.
I could take a magnet mount and just stick it in here, you know, and
And I'd just turn it
you
off.
could just explain what's
No.
going on, and
No, it'd stay off.
yeah, you could say I'm plowing now. Then you could check back in a little later and say I'm still plowing.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm still plowing.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Make sure you bring Andrew home. Have him leave his chisel plow here.
Alright.
Yeah, and then just pick him up and bring him back. All right, we'll see ya. Bye. All right, we're gonna go over and check on Andrew. He's over on the short rounds over there. I'm just gonna glance at everything here, make sure we ain't got any. Oh, wait a minute, we got a tip bolt out right there. We're gonna have to fix that quick.